Scratch of June, the hidden stairs and the magic carpets. 2. Sky below the ground. Harry pulled the door open quickly. Julie was standing in the middle of the tiny room. She was stretched at the floor beneath her feet. The ball was nowhere inside. Are you okay? Harry asked. Julie pushed away quickly out of the room. The ball went down there. Eric and Neil looked at the gray cement floor. Then they looked back at Julie. There were steps, Julie said, and I almost fell all the way down. Steps? Said Neil. Where the floor is? Julie nodded, and the scuffle went bouncing down them. Then you opened the door and steps sort of disappeared. Eric and Neil entered a little room under the stairs. Then Julie stepped back in. They stood close together. Maybe the ball whacked you in their head, Julie, Neil said with a laugh. You just thought there were stairs. Eric looked down at the floor. There weren't any steps anywhere. Julie, I don't think. I'm not making this up, she said. Wait, the door was closed and it was dark at first. Maybe then. It's pretty dark already, and Neil said. Don't close the door on us. Slam. Julie did close the door on them. Neil grumbled. Now it's very dark. Then suddenly it wasn't. The floor began to shimmer beneath them and bright lights glowed under their feet. Then whoosh! A stairway appeared out of nowhere, a set of steps leading away from the basement, away from the house. Wow, Eric said, it looks like outside down there. Is that what you saw? Julie nodded. Told you. The steps glowed rainbow colors. Julie peered out over Eric's shoulder. Let's go find the ball. Neil reached for the door. I don't think so. Come on, said Eric. He wasn't sure why, but he felt as if they had to go. He stepped down to the next step, then to the next, and the next. Already there was bright where he was. It was pink and cool and fresh. Neil, Julie, this is incredible, Alice said. We have to go down. I don't think this is such a good idea, Neil said. Julie laughed. She ran to catch up with Eric. The air smelled so sweet. Hurry up, Neil. We already the steps ahead of you. Just below them was a forest of tall trees. The stairs led all the way down to the treetops. Unbelievable, Eric whispered. Do you think this is some kind of magic? There is no such thing as magic, Julie said. Bitingly. She always did that when she didn't understand why things were happening, but this place is beautiful, strange, too. It's sort of like a theme park. Harry stopped. What he saw coming out of the pink mist was not from a theme park he had ever been to. He guessed. What do you see? Neil asked. Harry was frozen on the step, pointing into the mist. Lizard, I think, in the trees? Julie asked. That's normal. No, Harry said. Flying lizards, big ones, with weird-looking red guys riding them. That's not so normal, Neil said. Twang, a long flame arrow whistled past Eric's ear. Not so friendly either. They are taking us. 3. Crocodiles and ninjas. Twang! Another arrow flew at them. Suddenly, flying lizards were everywhere. The riders on their backs were getting their bows ready for another shot. Run back up to my house. Harry shouted. We can't, Julie said. The steps are disappearing. Look, she pointed. The stairs were fading into the mist, vanising into the pink sky. Oh man, Neil cried. I knew this would happen. Twang! A third flame arrow shot by. Follow me to the bottom, Eric yelled. We can hide in the trees. He rushed down, jumping 2 steps with every jump. But the steps were disappearing under him. No, he cried. He tumbled into the air. Ah! Julie screamed. Neil shouted. Grab onto the... Eric didn't hear the rest, but he fell like a rock through the trees. Branches snapped and cracked around him. Eric moaned when he finally hit the ground. He lay there, facing the sky. For a second, he couldn't remember where he was. Then he saw the giant lizard circling lower. Go! They dived towards him. Holy cow! Eric tried to crawl under a bush. Ouch, my ankle! It groaned. He must have hurt it in the fall. He could hardly move. The lizard swooped even closer to the treetops. When they swooped, Harry saw the riders clearly. Their skin was bright and shiny as red crayons. Oh man, I must be dreaming, I whispered to himself. A really bad dream too. It's bad, said a voice, but it's no dream. Harry turned his head. Who says that? Shh. Suddenly, the bushes before him began to move, and some leaps over him. It was a girl. She was dressed in a blue tunic. A thick brown belt was wound around her waist. Call. The lizard swooped again. The girl picked up a pebble. She threw it hard. It hit a distant tree with a loud smack. Over there, cried the lizard rider, pointing to the trees. The lizard flew away. Wow, cool move. Harry looked into the girl's green eyes. Her skin was pale as a cloud. But who are you? Kia, she said. You must be from the upper world. How did you get here? Harry blinked when he thought of how to tell her. I sort of fell. You picked the worst place in all of June. Lord Spar is very close. His red ninjas are everywhere, hunting for me on their flying goggles. Lord Spar, repeated, ninjas, goggles. Did you hurt yourself? The girl pressed her fingers on Eric's ankle. Ouch! Eric grunted. It's probably sprained. Then the girl opened a small leather pouch on her wrist. She sprinkled some sparkly dust on Eric's ankle. Better? His legs began to tingle. He moved his foot. Pain is gone. How did you do that? Never mind, the girl said. She began to scribble on a piece of paper. You have to help me. Find Garland and tell him to send this message to my father, King Jello. King? You're a princess? There they are. Get them. A voice cried out from above. Fa. The lizard divided suddenly toward Kia and Eric. They fled to the ground and their red riders leaped off. The ninja have spotted us, Kia cried. She pushed a wrinkled scrap of paper into Eric's hand. Lord Spar is a wizard. He's pure evil. He will stop at nothing to conquer Drune. Now, hurry, you'll find Galan in his tower. Tower? I can't find any tower. I've got to find my friend and get home. The girl looked into his eyes. If you're from upper world, you'll need help getting home. If you do this for me, I promise to help you. Now I'll distract them while you go. Hurry! Without another word, Kia leads away swiftly like a cat. The lizard floated above her. Alyssa. A strange white bird was gliding over the trees. The bird seemed to be following her. There, one ninja, the princess. The red creatures broke branches and tore leaves to get to Kia. But she only ran faster. I don't believe any of this, Eric said. He scrambled up from the ground and dashed down a narrow path after the princess. A stone bridge lay ahead of him. Maybe if he got there before Ninja could somehow help Kia escape. Huge cry. Eric raced toward the bridge. Get him! cried the voice. A hand came from nowhere. It grabbed Eric. He pulled him to the ground.